Oh, should we go? Yo,
Yo,
what's up, guys?
Should we go where?
I was gonna say, should we bring in our Insta peeps?
Oh, totally. Let's bring them in.
All
We
right.
forgot to set up the camera and
I
everything, didn't we?
know. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Ah, man, listen, everybody's hanging out. It's Monday morning. It's a big day today. It's National Nachos Day.
Oh, wow. Okay, so when was the last time you had nachos?
Wow.
Right?
It's been a long time.
It has not been in my what's the word for that? I'm missing the word right now. It has not been in my.
It's not been in circulation. It's not part of the rotation.
It's my rotation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's not part of the rotation.
Yeah, quick, give me some coffee. I'm dying right now. I need some of what's are those neurotropics that you're using called?
Thesis.
Thesis, that's right. Yeah.
Right here. I have them. I'm all ready to go. I'm on the creativity blend this week.
Nice. Okay, cool.
I got to be honest, man. I have noticed such a big difference in starting to take nootropics.
Really?
I really have, man. The mental clarity and just like I honestly, and I don't have any like scientific backing to prove this or anything, but I feel like it settles my freaking ADHD down a little bit.
Really? Yeah. I noticed a difference with it as well.
For me or when you take it?
For both, actually. So, yeah. So
keep taking that stuff, man, because when you're off it, it is hell.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What do you notice for you?
Same, just increased focus.
Yeah.
And of course, if you take it with a little bit of caffeine, it always really helps.
They serve these up with 100 milligrams of caffeine.
It's great.
Yeah,
perfect.
Freaking love it.
They're so popular nowadays. I mean, they've got the tinctures and they've got the gel caps and they've got the drinks, and I mean, there's something to it though. And the thing is, like, don't take our word for it. Just go to Circle K or 7-Eleven, go get some nootropics now.
Isn't that
dude? They're everywhere.
I'm not buying them at a gas station.
I know, but just the crazy thing is, a lot of the ingredients are the same, but some of them are different. Granted, and I know they put a lot. Especially, here's the thing: that all this stuff is not FDA regulated, and so purity, potency, delivery, like you definitely want to go to some higher end, like some better quality manufacturers, some brands, because it does make a big difference. You know, they could tell you, oh yeah, we've got 50 milligrams of XYZ in there. And then, third party tested, and it's like, oh, there's 35 milligrams. And they're like, oh, well, there you go. What are you going to do about it?
This is why the third party testing is so important.
It is. And it's none of this stuff is regulated. So they can tell you all kinds of stuff. So anyway, what's up, Kristen?
Hey, Kristen.
Wheelhouse. I like that.
Yeah, it's not in your wheelhouse. That's what she was trying to say. It's not in your wheelhouse of food.
That's right.
Man.
Thank you.
Today is also National Saxophone Day.
Do you have any stories about a saxophone?
I don't, man. I always thought it was the coolest instrument. I was in the orchestra growing up, and I always remember when we got together with the full band, and it was like everybody there. I always sort of loved that.
I played the saxophone for a year.
Come on.
I did, I swear.
Stop it.
No, I swear. It was actually really fun.
Alto, tenor?
Oh, man. It was just the classic saxophone.
The regular sax.
Which would be
the tenor, I think.
Is that the tenor?
I don't know. You guys help me. Kristen, help me out here.
I was terrible.
You were?
Well, I came from piano, from the keyboard, and so like you switch over to a woodwind, you have to buy all those I have no idea what they're. I'm not coming up with any words today.
You have to buy the reeds.
Yeah,
the
reeds.
Part?
Yes, exactly. And it was just, I mean, it was a really cool experience. So it was fun.
It's cool to be able to play an instrument. They say that people who play instruments are better in math. They say they're more creative.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to it. They even say people who play an instrument are better in bed.
Must be true.
It has to be true.
Right. I see at the time I was 13 or 14. So I didn't get to test that one out. I swear.
Here, let's talk to Adrian really quick. She says, hey, Chris, I found your show inspirational, lost a lot of weight to it since I put it all back on. Wanted to find the box set of your show. I can't find it anywhere. I know it's on Hulu right now. Hulu is recirculating the episodes.
Yes. Yeah.
So you don't have to buy a box set. You can get Hulu, and I know it's there.
Absolutely. And Adrian, I do have a suggestion for you. Just something that actually might help. Is and of course everyone knows that my thought process on this has shifted a lot when it comes to the approach to transformation. And I know you were probably started taking on some diet changes and some movement and brought in some regular exercise, but man, you know exactly where I'm going to go with this.
I do.
Man.
And thank you for going there.
You got to break it all down. break it all down. And I want you to just think about one small promise that you can keep to yourself every day. But to take this one step further is that if you could actually trace this back, when you say you gained it all back, this is probably something that it hurts my heart so much for someone who's gone through the journey of transformation. And I'm only speaking to this personally because I've had a lot of the folks that I've worked with, a lot of them have gained it back. Some have kept it off and some have gained it back.
Well, we had Rachel on from season from season 5, right? Just a couple of months ago. So that might be a great podcast for you to listen to, Adrian, because a lot is a big deep dive on what he's getting ready to go for.
Absolutely. And so I'm on a never ending journey to help people identify what ultimately is the true path of transformation so that you don't gain it back. And what I've found in this, and I want you to do your own soul searching, because it's really hard to poke holes in this, but the inner path of transformation is all based on you keeping your promises to yourself. It's not diet, it's not exercise. And I know everyone listening, you've probably heard me say this time and time again, and I won't stop until this message is actually out there and we change the conversation. But you can actually look back to the moment you started gaining the weight back, and I believe you can trace it back to a single broken promise. And when I say that, and when I say call it a broken promise, as you were losing the weight, you were consistent with some things. And it was almost like a contract that you had with yourself where you're doing the same thing every day, over and over and over. And it was getting you these incredible results, and you were feeling amazing about yourself. And you had belief in yourself, and you had esteem and confidence. And then something happened. There was one day in which you didn't keep that consistency, and it turned into 2 and 3 and 4. What if you went back to that day and you healed that broken promise, and then you can get right back on track? Or maybe you had to reassess it and maybe not make it so big so that it was doable every single day. And that's where I think you can start to identify the power of what that commitment was that you had made to yourself, and that consistency, and you keeping that promise over and over again. So if you can trace it back to that broken promise, you can identify it, and you can make darn sure that it doesn't happen again, because that can lead to a very slippery slope. And everyone that I've found that's gained the weight back, they can trace it back to a single broken promise.
And also, if I may just kind of jump on that a little bit more, but I want you to, Adrian, just allow yourself a little bit of grace. Like, you slipped up, right? And it went back the other way. Like, okay. Like he said, let's just get back on the horse.
Yeah.
Don't give it any more value than I fell off, and I just need to jump back on.
That's just it. Yeah. And then, and when you know how it happened and why it happened, then you could do something about it. You can identify it next time, because everyone's going to have those crazy days where like something, it's just like the world just throws all kinds of curveballs at you, and you just don't do what you have typically done. But then that one day turns to 2, and 2 turns to 3, and 3 turns to 4. Before you know it, you've gained it all back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's funny, man. I was doing a little bit of research this week, and I'm getting ready to do a presentation in December. And I was just brushing up on a couple of things, and I came across something very fascinating that I think our audience would love to know about. You would love to know about it too. It's that the average human being has about 60,000 thoughts in a day.
60,000. Wow.
And yeah, right.
Yeah.
And 75% or more are either negative or repetitive thoughts.
Wow.
Yeah. So know that. So now that you understand that most of what's going through the brain is just on repeat, you do have to do something to shake that up.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
Yeah. So 60,000 thoughts a day, more than 75% of them are going to be negative or repetitive.
So it's okay. So,
let's break it down.
Yeah. So let's break it down. So how when in the research that you did on this, like, how do you shake it up? How do you, because I've also heard it said, like, in that we were kind of operating on autopilot.
That's it.
For most of it, almost in a state of like pseudo hypnosis, if you will. Right?
100%, because of the fact that the brain wants the easy way out all the time. So it's going to rely on systems to get things done.
And then just starts running the program
That's
over and over and over and over. So like, what are a few things that you can do to break it up then?
Well, I would think that you would need to, number one, acknowledge that that's the case. That's probably the biggest thing, is to when you have those thoughts, to say stop. Like, that's one of the recommendations I read online. Say stop out loud.
Wow. Okay.
Stop.
Yep.
Those are repetitive, negative thoughts. They're not where I want to be. Let me lean into these new thoughts that I have. Okay, so that's one.
Yeah.
The other one would probably be to change your environment or what you're doing or what you're into. Like, and you're just going to have to pivot. And then the third one, I think, is what you like to talk about the most, which is start with one promise.
Yeah.
And then start stacking.
Sure. But it takes brain power to do this. But
it ain't easy, bro.
I like the stop thing, especially even if you clap your hands or you have some sort of cue that's just like and
stop.
Yep, exactly. And maybe after a while, when you get used to that, you could just turn it into a clap. So people don't look at you like you're crazy or anything, or maybe a snap or something like that of saying, I identify that negative thoughts are starting to cycle through my head. And then, so again, though, it takes some cognitive thought, or like, as some would call it,
it's
limbic friction.
Yeah, it's work.
And it's like brain power. And so
this is what people talk about when they say, go do the work. The work is trying to break the thought process.
Absolutely.
And understand where it's coming from and how it got there, because it's really easy to look at 60,000 thoughts a day. And if they're mostly negative or repetitive, that's a losing battle to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't it feel like that to you?
For sure.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's too much.
Yeah.
But for me, there's power in just knowing that that's happening. What's up, Julie?
And also knowing that you're not going to stop. Like 75% might be negative or repetitive. What if you brought that number down to like 65% or 55%?
Sure.
Because you were cognitively stopping them and starting to reprogram. And listening to Huberman, of course.
Sure.
He'll talk about, that it takes that cue. And then you stop it. It takes the limbic friction to think about it. But then the more you do that, it starts to become reflexive. And then those neurons, you're firing new neurons as you're changing that behavior. And as they say, neurons that fire together, wire together. And over time, with that the repetition, you can actually start to change those thoughts.
That's how I view it. And then, you just have to be aware of it. That's the first thing in the world, is that somebody has to tell you that, hang on, everything you're thinking all day long, most of that shit's on autopilot. So know that, number one. And then, for me too, over the last couple of years, I have a lot of, it's still 2 years later, I'm doing the work. I have to be in a point in my day where I have to say, stop. That's the old operating system. That's not the way I want to keep doing things moving forward.
Right.
That's no different than being in the gym. I can't go out and grab your 100-pound dumbbells right away.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
It's going to take reps, man.
Yeah.
And it will for you guys too.
Yeah.
Is Hulu in the UK? I would think so.
I hope so.
I don't know.
If not, I mean, I know for a while you could actually search up some of our old episodes on YouTube, of course.
Okay.
But and then I know in the UK, I believe our show originally aired on Sky TV. I think that's what they call it in the UK. But I don't know if it's still airing it. But yeah, Hulu, and of course, check out YouTube.
We'll find out. We'll look into it, and we'll let you guys know.
Yes.
Because like you, Adrian, we have a little bit of a cynical thought process from time to time too.
You join the club, man.
That's how it works.
We're all human.
That's how it works.
Yes.
I hope everybody doesn't mind, but I needed a little bit of a fresh breather. So I went with the Neuromints, which are a sponsor of the I Needed That podcast.
Thank you. Is this for me?
That
are,
is
are, you,
for
are
you.
you trying to tell me something?
I am
right
trying
now?
to tell you something. Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, I'll take one.
Yeah, they're so refreshing.
They really are.
Oh, man.
Hold on.
Oh, buddy. Could make out with that breath.
It's not.
You know what we did last night?
Huh.
We went, my wife and I went to the Taylor Swift movie.
Oh.
So we watched the concert that you guys went to. Holy,
bro.
Unbelievable woman.
Yeah.
And dancers.
Yeah.
And wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought I was going to freaking hate it. And I loved it.
Dude. Now you see why she's all the rage. She's completely changed the whole concert experience.
Everything. I went home and told my boys, I said, here's what's so brilliant about Taylor Swift. She makes an album, which makes her a bunch of money. She goes on tour to support the album, which makes her a bunch of money. She records one of the concerts in LA, which makes her a bunch of money. She's going to sell the streaming rights to somebody else in the new year, which is going to make her a lot of money.
Oh, dude.
Like she's got one thing and she's found 5 different ways, 6, 7 different ways to monetize it.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
She's a machine.
It's impressive.
Yeah, she's an absolute machine.
Oh, man. And the dancers she had were out of control, and the backup vocalists and the imagery and all of I was just so impressed, man.
Yeah.
So impressed.
Yes. she is certainly mastered the art of,
Something.
of utilizing every single channel to reach the largest number of people.
You know what, Julie, you're probably not wrong about that. And if there's been anybody who's I challenge anybody who's done it better. Maybe the Beatles, maybe Elvis, you know, some of these big names who've been around for a long time. But you're right, Garth is.
I've heard that's a heck of a concert too, by the way.
It's probably top 3 concerts I've ever been to is Garth Brooks.
You got to go.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I would love to. I'd love to see him.
And do you know what it is, man? It's like you're watching them on the stage, and every single member of the audience looks like it's the greatest night of their life.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that, if you remember with Taylor thing, that's how it was, right? Like everybody's into it. The bandmates are singing along with the songs. The dancers are mouthing the words. The dancers have this smile on their face that looks so real and authentic.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It really is. It is.
And that energy is so attractive. I mean, it makes sense.
And every member of the audience is singing.
I know. At the top of their lungs. They know every word to every song.
Oh, I know. My ears were ringing for a couple days after that.
I told Nickley that I was, Nickley's my wife, by the way, and I said, I don't think I could have gone to the concert. I guess if I was like a bazillionaire and, you know, like you, I would have gone to the concert. Actually, your wife bought the tickets.
I did buy the tickets. My ex-wife.
That's right. Your ex-wife bought the tickets. So, you know, I don't think I would have enjoyed it at the show. And I'm glad I didn't see it in the theater the first month when like all the kids were in there screaming and dancing and doing the whole thing.
Insane. Yeah.
You went to the movie theater to watch it?
Oh, no.
Oh.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't, yeah.
But it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't need all the extra stuff there. I just enjoyed the movie as I was last night. It was amazing.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Here's a question for us. Have you got a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
Madeline, we won't be able to answer the whole question, but we can certainly tear into it a little bit. How could I deal with my emotion eating problem? I think first it's, if you don't mind, I'm going to go back to what I just said a few seconds ago, which is remember that you're having 60,000 thoughts a day and most of them are repetitive or negative. So just know that you're going to have to work on that piece first, the thought process.
Understanding what those triggers are. See, when you say emotional eating, let's get to the base of this. Is it due to trauma that happened in the past? Is there someone who's triggering you, or is it something that's triggering? Is it financial? Is it going to be career related? Is it going to be relationship related? Is it loneliness? Is it depression? Is it boredom? So really like identifying what that trigger is going to be a super powerful step in this process. And then there's a few different things you can do. You can hear me just sucking on this Neuromint right now.
What are you going to do? I was just thinking.
I know.
We sound like we have a list, but it's because we have a mint.
Let's just go with this, guys.
But we've been paid $1,000 to chew a Neuromint live on this broadcast.
But you know it's working. I'm feeling
$1,000 a piece. To be clear. Yeah,
a minute
per mint.
Yeah,
so we're going to be chewing them all day long.
Give me the whole bag. Oh, so
I walked in. Chris said, "I need $20,000." I said, "Listen, they'll pay us $1,000 to eat a mint on camera. Let's go."
Right, dude. I would seriously, yeah. I got to buy the kids some Christmas presents. Give me some of those mints. Yeah. So,
sorry. Back to Madeline.
Yes. So, continued from what we were just talking about, identifying what it is that your trigger is. Create an environment for success, and that. Whatever, if you have a food that you're reaching for on a regular basis that's just getting out of hand, or maybe it's a 3 or 4 different foods, try removing them from your environment. I'm not saying you can never have them again, but just for the time being, while you're doing this brain work, this mental work, it's good just to remove that from the air. It's like, you know, a lot of people, they might be emotionally triggered or something. They're going to, you know, walk into a bar, reach for alcohol. Don't go into the bar, right? But so, or it's like, if you kind of find yourself reaching for a half gallon of ice cream, or maybe a soda, or some cookies or crackers, whatever it is, if that's your go-to, remove it while you're doing this work. And then when you're actually in a really good place, you can always reintroduce it. But at the same time, I'm not saying don't fill that gap, because it's going to create a vacuum. So like you're going to start reaching for other things. Sometimes that's okay. Find some other substitutes that will actually, but here's the best part. Say like, you know, it's a half gallon of ice cream. Something that's actually worked for a lot of the folks I've worked with in the past is, instead of the ice cream, they'll just get popsicles, Because there's a beginning and an end to that popsicle.
You mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Eat snacks where there's a beginning and an end.
And all of a sudden, it's a little bit more portion size. And so you're just more aware of your actions and your behaviors. And also the fact that you're like, oh, man, I want some ice cream so bad. And then you look in the fridge or in the freezer and like, oh, well, there's a popsicle. I know why. And immediately you're in this place. Also understand that the typical trigger lasts about 15 minutes. And so if you can find yourself, like the moment that you actually are starting to feel like you want to binge or you want to overeat,
Yeah.
what if you actually went on a walk for 15 minutes or you actually just made yourself busy for 15 minutes? Because a lot of times when you do that, you can actually start to sort through a lot. And then you realize you can, and the other thing that I've learned is to have this constant conversation with yourself. You're like, am I physically hungry or am I emotionally hungry? And so just, it's going to require some real brain work though, because you're going to naturally want to reach for something that's going to try to ease the pain.
Sure.
Because you emotionally eat because you're trying to solve a problem. You're suffering. And so you're trying to make that suffering go away. So it's like, what can you do? Number one, kind of divert your attention. Think, okay, if I am going to reach for something, what can I do? Again, bringing more thought process to this. It's going to require limbic friction, which just means that you have to do some thinking and some brain work in this process. But then with that repetition, you can start to get a hold of this. But I'm also going to finish this off to say that I'm not a disordered eating or eating disorder specialist.
We have had 3 on the show so far, though. We have had 3.
Yes.
I don't know if you've listened to them at all, Madeline, but we've had 3 separate women come on the show that have all been incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've learned so much from them. And so if you can, please
Dr. Morgan Francis.
Yep. Let me see.
And then the Hungry Clementine.
And then we also had Amelia Thompson.
So go back and listen to those 3 episodes, Madeline, and see if you can't get any nuggets there. Go ahead. Finish
Absolutely. Up. No, I think you buttoned that up beautifully. Okay. And so those are just a few tips that we would give just off the cuff. But at the same time, just understand that, look, I'm not a licensed professional here. Matthew isn't either, but we can at least point you in the right direction. However, those are some really gold nuggets that we've extracted from some of these professionals that we want to share with you. So hopefully that will help.
And the other thing that's important to say in any journey is that this stuff shows up so you will deal with it. Like it's not coming to the forefront so you keep tucking it back down or, feeding it or ignoring it or whatever. Like it's showing up so that you will act on it, so you will operate on it.
Yeah.
And if that just feels insurmountable right now, one of the things that I was going to suggest to Madeline, Adrian, anybody else that's listening, these little mala beads for me have been absolute game changers for me, friends. And I picked them up after my retreat a couple of years ago. And if you don't know much about the mala bead, it's just this like necklace of stuff. You can buy this on Amazon for $20 or something like that, right? And you just kind of come up with a mantra, and then you move the beads around, and there's like a whole thing that you're supposed to do where you do it like 3 times or 4 times or something like that. I just do it until the feeling goes away.
And that's what really matters, isn't it?
It's what you just said. Like, do something to divert your attention, go on a walk, do something like that. But if you can't go on a walk and if you can't be active, I freaking love the mala beads. And I just sit here, and my mantra is I let go and I trust the process of life. So when I get into situations that feel confusing to me, that feel overwhelming for me, that I feel like I can't control anymore, man, I just sit here and I let go and I trust the process of life. And I let go and I trust the process of life. And it takes a few minutes, but usually I can feel pretty good about the situation, or at least some like little answer or action step will find me.
Dude, I love that.
It's pretty good.
And you know what's so funny? I see you messing with those all the time, even in the middle of the podcast. And I never stop to ask. That's beautiful.
It literally brings me back to zero. And it's my like anxious energy or whatever that is, it's those thoughts in my head. And this is the way to settle them down.
And until the feeling goes away.
And then I usually just set it down.
I think it's brilliant.
It's a tool. It's a tool, Madeline.
Absolutely. Wow, man. Thanks for sharing. That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
Get you some mala beads.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, I got my first set from the actual healer, one of the healers that was in my journey, and I wore them out. I was using them so much.
Oh, really?
In the first year.
And you know what, though? Boy, look how far you've come now.
Sure.
Because you did all that mental mind work. And
I just go to the beads.
Yeah.
I
That's
just
great.
go to the beads. Yeah.
Man, I see an application for that in a lot of different places.
Do
actually.
you?
For sure.
Yeah.
Who isn't dealing with some crap?
Yeah, sure.
And it's like, and who doesn't deal with triggers? And we're human. We all do. And so to have just a nice, like a tool that's right there in your hand or in your pocket that you can go to that can really kind of, again, it's that cue, it's that diversion that brings you, you're aware of it.
Yes.
You made the conscious effort to reach in your pocket, pull it out and say, I can do something about this right now. You're now in control. And I'm going to stay here until the feeling goes away. Man, it puts you in control. And I mean, how many people, when they're going through it and then they're emotional eating and they're doing all these things,
out of control.
you're out of control.
Yeah.
That's why you feel so bad about yourself, is that you feel out of control.
Yeah.
So to bring the control back to you with a tool like that, it's inexpensive.
Yeah, inexpensive.
It's simple.
For sure.
It's convenient. You can carry it anywhere.
And I honestly, I break them out everywhere. I will flip my mala beads while I'm coaching, while I'm talking to my kids. I'll flip my mala beads when I'm in a meeting with people. I'll flip my mala beads when I'm by myself. Yeah, like I just kind of go after them all the time. They are, as Adrian says here, I love this. Yeah, these are my adult security blanket for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we all need a thunder coat, bro.
Absolutely.
We all need the thunder coat.
That's awesome. Yes, I love it.
So, Matt, check out those episodes and let us know what you think. Today's a really special day. We have the episode with Bruce Pitcher that came out today.
Yes.
Homeboy got very emotional during our podcast. Something he said, quote, I have 37 podcasts of my own and I haven't gotten emotional one time. What do you think it was about three of us having a dialogue that brought him to that place?
You know, Bruce and I have gotten amazing.
I think it's you.
We have a great history and we've been through a lot. And so when Bruce and I can talk about his past and he got emotional talking about the camaraderie that he had with the people that became his family as he was going through the journey of transformation. Man, it was those times were so powerful for all of us.
I can't even imagine being on the set when all of that was taking place. Because on the film, you know, it went dark.
Yeah.
We couldn't see some things because they didn't want to show certain people.
Yeah.
Some of it wasn't so audible, but it was like you knew what was happening there. And it was heavy.
It was.
Incredible.
It was. And in the darkness and like in that heaviness, there was so much love and support for him as he was going through it. And I think he started to go back to that place where he felt that, you know, and he felt hope and he felt love and he felt that support that he needed. And that's it was an emotional interview for all of us. And it was amazing. If you don't know Bruce and you don't know his story,
his pod's out today.
It's incredible. Please go listen. He endured the worst abuse that you could possibly imagine at the hands of his father. And he was able to turn his life around from it. He turned to food, emotional eating, to protect himself from his father and to cover it up from just the shame that he felt. But then with lots of therapy and love and healing, turned it all around. He completely transformed his life, and now he's transforming other people's lives.
Yeah, what's his thing?
Larger than life.
Larger than life.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
And he's a coach and he's helping other people through the journey of transformation with, you know, especially those with a history of sexual trauma and everything.
Yeah.
And so
who more believable than the guy that went through it?
Well, that's just it. It's just like, I mean, no one can ever look at him and say, well, you don't understand. You don't understand my pain. He's like, oh, really? Yeah. Here, mic drop every single time. And it's just like, no one understands like he does, but no one's turned it around like he has. And he's just that beacon of hope for so many people. Man, he's living his best life now. He's got a baby boy and he's married. I mean, just like he's living his best life now. And so it's like he is hope for so many people. Yeah. You gotta listen.
And Madeline, Adrian, everybody else that's watching, it's like, none of it happened overnight. It's a process. He stepped into it. He had to work on it. He had to train his mind. You know, you guys will do the same thing. I want to wrap up really quick. But before we do, this weekend is the Lululemon 10K race.
Yes.
I feel like we've been talking about it for what feels like 3 years, but it's only been about 3 months that we've been talking about it.
Right.
How are you feeling about the race this weekend?
As long as we just cruise, I'm going to be okay. I've been on one run. I ran with my kids. I let my kids ride the bike and I ran behind them for probably a 5K and I was okay. That was last weekend.
Okay.
I haven't run since.
You all right then?
I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still hitting my workouts in the garage, and I'm cranking on my assault bike, and I'm doing my little treadmill sprints and everything. So I'm just gonna trot along with you guys, and we'll have a good time.
Yeah. Well, we've got about 10 or 15 people running with us.
I know. Well, enough about me. How about you? How are you feeling about it?
I'm ready to go. I mean, I don't love running. Let me be more clear. I kind of hate running. So I'm just going to go for the camaraderie and for the scenery and for everybody and for the fellowship that we'll have together with our group. And, it'll be a really great little morning. Odette's coming in, our podcast manager. And so it's always fun when we get the whole team together and everybody goes and shares a couple of pizzas.
Yeah.
After a big race.
Oh, you earned them. That's for sure.
Damn right you earned them. So the race is on the 12th. Isn't that right?
That is correct, I believe. It's this Saturday. No, is it Sunday?
Yeah, it's Sunday, the 12th. I'm pretty sure.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Sunday the 12th. It's going to be a blast, dude. It's basically a moving party.
Yes.
It's a party that moves at about 3 miles an hour.
Yes.
3 to 5 miles an hour.
It's going to be excellent. Yeah, I don't have any hockey game. I got a hockey game the night before, but thank God we start at like 6:20. So yeah, it won't be because I don't like being tired for these things.
Yeah.
I want to get to bed early.
Take your neuromints.
I will.
And your thesis.
I'll be good.
Yes.
Well, if you're coming to run with us, we'll look forward to seeing you guys then. If not, have an awesome rest of your week. Bruce Pitcher's episode is out right now. We are about to go and record a really interesting episode with a guy named Quinlan, who is kind of the opposite transformation story that we normally tackle.
Yeah, it's really unique. We actually wanted to talk to this kid because he's been through this amazing journey of transformation, but he was extremely skinny, and it's caught a lot of attention from other people because he went through this muscle gain transformation.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I struggled with it too. This is why I'm excited to talk to Quinlan. I mean, I was 6'2", 140 in high school. It's about as tall and skinny as it gets.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
I thought I had, well, I was 5'3", maybe 105.
Yeah, really? When?
Yes.
In high school?
Yeah, early in high school.
Okay,
yeah,
freshman.
like freshman
Okay.
year. Yeah, then I slowly grew into it, but I topped out at 5'8.5". So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for years,
But
I couldn't gain weight. Yeah.
140?
140.
You must have looked so frail.
So skinny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tiny, skinny legs, skinny little arms, skinny chest. I couldn't gain weight. I freaking couldn't gain weight. I was working with the doctor and a nutritionist, and I was eating so many calories a day, but I was also burning so many calories a day because of how active I was.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're playing hockey and everything.
My metabolism was on fleek.
Yeah, I know, right? And but this is a real problem for a lot of people.
It is.
So we want to talk about it. And also, listen, whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, you're going to hear a lot of parallel struggles.
Yeah.
With Quinlan or with someone who's trying to lose 300 pounds.
Sure.
It's a human thing. And so we're all looking to try to be the best version of ourselves.
And skinny doesn't mean healthy.
No.
That's the other thing too.
Yeah. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
I know
right.
So many unhealthy, skinny people.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to digging in with him and listening to his stories and his struggles and figuring out how he got through them so that we can share them with you.
Love it.
So hopefully there's gonna be some gold nuggets of inspiration, motivation, and education out there for all of us.
All right, let's go full circle. Adrian, you got this, man. Just go back, find that promise. It sounds like you did. And we wish you guys nothing but the best, man. You've totally got this. You just have to do the work continually and just keep pouring into yourself. Somebody told me once upon a time, and if you've been in a state of depression or something like that, this will resonate with you. But most of us who have been in a depression for a long time, we've kind of been living this self-love deficit. And now it's okay for you to pour back into yourself so that you can kind of balance that tide a little bit.
Amen.
Hey, bud. All right. That's it.
All right.
Have a good day.
See you guys.
See you next time.
Love you guys. See ya.